All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem HaRakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful lake brothers out there, the few sincere sisters that's tuning in. I say Shalom. Also, like to acknowledge the Israelite foreigners out there that's starting to tune in. They sea line goes back to one of the 12 tribes. They may not have the appearance of what an Israelite would normally look like, but they're taking on the appearance of the nations that they're scattered amongst, but their spirit and their seed line goes back to one of the 12 tribes. They understand this truth and they're sincere about it. I say shalom to you too. So I want to do a quick video because when I was, just a quick testimony, when I was in high school, a lot of my classmates, just all of a sudden out the blue just started going to this one new church that popped up on the scene not too far from our high school. And members of my basketball team, guys that I knew, and even females that were that your big mama said would call them, like, fast ass little girls, like hot to try. They out there, kind of loosely. They just started going to the church, and it's like I got invited. I went, but I just didn't. It didn't take a hold of me like it took a lot of my classmates. I just didn't want to be a hypocrite. Like, I didn't want to be all up in church on Sundays, but during the rest of the week, I'm doing whatever the hell I was doing. Living my life according to what, in the flesh. So I just didn't want to be that bad person that was being a straight up hypocrite to the Most High, because my family, we were raised to be spiritual in my household, my family, throughout my whole family. So, I took that serious. So I wasn't going to play with the Most High like that. So fast forward to now, a lot of some of the classmates that I went to school with, they're like high prominent figures in this church. They done came up the ranks and, running the church, the pastor and the youth pastors, and, that's what they're doing. So on their social media, they be posting stuff, and this is the thing about churchgoers. They swear they know they saved. And I got this on etymology online, the word favored, because they like to, they have all they kind of slogans. I'm saved by the blood of Jesus. I'm blessed and highly favored and the holy sanctified, and they got a whole slew of these sayings. So I'm gonna read this real quick. This favored, right? It says enjoying unusual advantages. That's what it means to be favored. Then also it has here good looking for well favored. Then it has worst favored, ugliest. And it's crazy because they got another slang, God don't like ugly. But in order to be highly favored, or to be enjoying unusual advantages, that means the Most High has to be with you and let it be known, not just to you, but to everyone around. When the Most High magnified Moses, all Israel saw it. When he magnified Joseph, all Israel saw it. It actually says that in the scripture. Like, I will magnify you. When the Lord was talking to Joseph, I will magnify you as Moses, so all Israel shall know. Like, basically, roughly paraphrasing. So, and this unusual advantages is gonna come when the day of the Lord's wrath kick off. It's not a position that you could take advantage of that right now. You may have things go your way. You may have things might not go your way. But unusual advantages, this means that everybody else is at a disadvantage and you're at an advantage. And that describes the day of the Lord's wrath, when the Most High is bringing forth his wrath on the earth. And see, these churchgoers, they believe in a false doctrine by the name of the rapture. They believe that they're going to be raptured out of the danger and the trouble and the tribulation, the 7-year tribulation period that they placed on this doctrine to state that the whole earth is going to be getting punished, but those who are get raptured out of here, those who are saved, they'll be raptured out of here. When the scriptures don't tell you that. When you read in Revelation the 3rd chapter, it talks about that's gonna come. The Most High is gonna try the whole earth. Since you kept my patience, and I shall keep thee from the hour of temptation that shall try the whole earth. Roughly paraphrasing. So you at that point in time will be able to say, are you highly favored or not? Because will you be enjoying advantages? I'm talking to the churchgoers out there. Will you be enjoying advantages when you find out that, oh, I didn't get raptured? There is no rapture. Matter of fact, nobody got raptured. We're all in this thing. It's like one big, tribulation period that everybody suffering from. Then the scriptures tell you, then you shall know who his chosen is. That's when you can say you're favored. That's when you can say you're enjoying unusual advantages. And that advantage may just be the fact that you're eating and no one else around you is really eating. The advantage could be you're surviving while people are dying around you. Your family is surviving while everybody else's family is getting raped and pillaged and plundered and put to death. This is Matthew 10 and 21. It says, and the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. He that endured to the end will be favored. He that endured to the end will be saved. You churchgoers out there believe that you're saved now. You believe because you spoke in tongues that now you're saved. The scriptures say, who either endured to the end shall be saved, which means right now you're not saved. This is Jeremiah 8 and 20. This is the harvest is past. The summer is ended, and we are not saved. Now, when you look at the harvest, we're in the harvest in time. Harvest is when, the pickings is right. So if you have, if you have a vegetation or a garden and you're farming and the harvest is at the peak time of to be able to pick your vegetation, whatever you planted, for it to be plucked and picked. So, and this is the summer is ended. The summer is the most fair weather. So you have certain, things that are grown in that time when it ends. That means it's ready to be picked. Now now this is synonymous with, in the time of the Lord's wrath, because the scriptures tell you that these are the beginning of great sorrows. It gives you a sequence of events that are going to be taking place, but it says the end is not yet. Only when you see the Lord hits the skies, you can say, okay, this is the harvest. This is the picking of the harvest. Because the angels are going to be like the Most High's first fruits, the fruits of the Most High, the elect. They're going to be picked by the angels. So the angels are going to come and they're going to harvest those first fruits, those individuals who the Most High has had His mercy upon, and they will be the ones that will be saved. So we can look and see each year there's a harvest and there's an end of a summer every year. But we are not saved. You can't say you're saved if you haven't been saved. You have to get saved in order to be classified as you've been saved. So the churchgoers, they swear they know that they're saved as of right now. They know they're saved. And you ask a churchgoer, what are you saved from? They don't even know. They don't even know what's coming. They have no idea. They're frankly, they're, they're like, you know, just don't have no idea what's coming. All they can say, they might just say, it's gonna be bad. If they say that, because they desire the day of the Lord, and Amos 5:18 tells you about that. Woe unto you who desire the day of the Lord, for what end is it for you? Death and destruction, man. It's a dark and gloominess. And it names three different events of how you may escape death, to run from death to death, and run from that death into your actual death. When it talks about, a man fleeing. Matter of fact, I'll just read it since I'm speaking on it. Amos 5:18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? Question mark. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him. So you flee from one deadly situation just to run into another deadlier situation. Because a bear, a bear is bigger than a lion. So I mean, you went from one danger to a more dangerous situation. Or went into, you see this bear, so you go into a house, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, meaning you go inside the house, you think you're safe, you lean up against the wall to rest and catch your breath, or to rejoice because you think you got away, and a serpent bit him. So you're fleeing from death to another dangerous death situation, to going right into your death. And this is what these, like Apostle Gabor like to call them, wacky tacky Christians. These churchgoers, they swear that they know that this is not for them, that this ain't gonna happen to them, when it's actually designed to happen majorly for them. Because it's gonna be a lot of our people, 2/3 of our people are going to succumb to these circumstances, and you're gonna be calling on Jesus, and like you, because the people that I went to school with, that part of these churches and everything, that they love to let that Jesus fly out their mouth. When you ask them what does the word Jesus mean, and they have no idea what the word means, but they believe upon that name. Next scripture is Matthew 7:21. It says, not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have I not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name have done many wonderful works? Now this is twofold. This applies to you, so-called Christians, churchgoers or whatnot, and also those of the Israelite communities out there, the different Israelite groups out there. It goes for you too. But primarily I'm speaking on you churchgoers who like to utilize the name Jesus. Like, so when you calling on Jesus, that's not the name of the Most High. You're saying you cast out devils in His name. You're saying that that you have prophesied in His name, but you haven't. You have never known Him. He didn't answer to that name. Verse 23, and then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon the rock. When you take heed of this truth, and the Most High bring it forth your way, and you grab and you hold on to it, and you don't let it go, and you make the changes and the adjustments in your life to abide by the truth of the Bible, to walk in this faith, that means you're building your house upon that rock, man. You be with a strong foundation, with the stability, and you're rooted and grounded. Verse 25. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Meaning, when the trials and the tribulations come your way, the afflictions, the infirmities, it come hitting you hard, you still hold fast. You still stand strong. That house is filled with stability because it was founded upon that rock. When Esau coming with his troops and trying to overthrow you, like you just reading the Psalms of David. David gave plenty psalms. He sang a lot of joy to the Most High and explaining how he was in certain circumstances, and the Most High maneuvered his way out of that circumstance, delivered him. These are things that are going to happen to those who built their house upon that rock. It's verse 26. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. Yeah. So when you look at the circumstances, what it says, take for instance these churchgoers, when that rain comes and when that flood hits, and it descends upon them, and they start calling on Jesus, and they start to notice that there's no helping coming from that. They don't have faith in nothing else, so they're gonna fall. They're gonna be faithless. They're gonna be running around, and they ain't gonna have nothing that there's nothing that they're gonna be able to do to help them in that situation. And then they're gonna be getting attacked mentally with demons. So it's just gonna be a bad situation for them all the way around. And it came to pass, when Yahweh Shai has ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. Because he did have the authority. All authority and all power from heaven and earth was given unto him. And he spoke that way. He spoke boldly. So with that, I'm going to bring this lesson to a close. It's just ironic how you see people who claim to believe in the Bible, but yet they believe in doctrines that the Bible does not speak of. And they believe things, just blindly believing things. And I just thank Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that he didn't have that mission for me. That route, he had me drive another route, because I could have been one of those back when I went to high school. I could have got fully involved into that, fully indoctrinated into that, and joined that ministry and been part of that madness to this day. But the Most High, it's a beautiful thing, because I was a strange woman. Scriptures talk about, a strange woman being spiritual adultery. And the Most High didn't have that path for me. He had the path of the way of truth. He had me to one day that I was going to wake up to this truth, and I was going to have Sophia joined unto me. Now, if I would have been with that strange woman from back in my high school days, then I would have been lost. And that's a horrible thing to think about now that I know, the whole playbook now. And I just thank the Most High for that, because it's so easy for us to get caught up in the things that we think is right, but they're truly wrong and false for us. Otherwise, you get caught up into these things, and you don't have no idea of what's right or what's not right, and you believe in a lie, and you perish behind it. So, when it comes to that strange woman, that other philosophy, them false philosophies, and them doctrines, and all that stuff that Esau puts in those seminary schools, you know, and people go out and teach this stuff in their churches, and people fall, you know, and it's you Israelites out there that's doing it, 2/3 of our people. So with that, I'm gonna end the lesson. You know, it's a beautiful thing that the Most High has given us this truth, and if the Most High has given you a chance to know this truth, then hold on to it, cherish it. All praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Arakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.